So as an act of ultimate laziness and save myself some typing, I am just going to record this thing. And so the whole point of this is try to get a quick start to an arcane build and to also have a summon that can help you get to Altus Plateau. That's really the goal because we're trying to get Eleanor's Pole Blade. Excuse me. Excuse me, trying to get Eleanor's Pole Blade. And we're trying to get it at the lowest possible level so that we can play with it. One of the frustrating parts of the game I always found was that there's a lot of cool weapons to use, but by the time you find these weapons, or by the time you get them and upgrade them, you're at the end of the game, and some of them aren't viable for end of game content, but they would have been a lot of fun to use on the way through. So I think Eleanor's Pole Blade's an example of that. And so what I'm going to try to do is go and get it, and be about level 28 maybe when I get the weapon, be able to fully upgrade it to 6, +6, and still not have killed any of the world bosses. The only downside is that I'll be going after Altus Plateau, so that will open the Radon section of the fight, but it will also potentially mess up Dung Eater questline. So if you're doing the Dung Eater questline, or you want to do it, don't do this. But other than that, it has no repercussions really to go get the weapon and then come back. So you can see on the way through here, I'm just doing the typical stuff off the beginning. All I did was went and got Torrent and got the summoning bell. And so that's it. Right off the start here, I'm going to also go and get a level 1 summon upgrade. Just by running into the dungeon, grab it, don't fight anything, there it is, and leave. And that's it. And then keep going. I also started this game with 3,000 runes instead of the whatever, the golden seed, just to have some walking around money at the beginning to save me from needing to kill a bunch of things to be able to upgrade to a sword. So I'm just going to buy in the broadsword from this guy. Could go buy the short sword off the other bridge from the other merchant for 600. This one's 1800. I just don't feel like farming the sword. You need it to be able to get in a fight with Bloody Finger Nereus later. You have to at least have a sword if you want to stand a chance in hell of beating that guy. So right here, I'm just going to start my run into Lineria. And it's a pain in the ass. It's a long run. The whole point is to get up to the blacksmith. So the blacksmith is what's going to allow you to upgrade your somber weapons to, he sells up to level 4 somber smithing stones. So this run pretty much allows you to just find a somber upgradable weapon of your choice in the first area and make it end game viable really quickly. So this run I just bypass the castle, come around the outside of the castle, and then get the Site of Grace. The question is always, do you run up the left-hand or the right-hand side of the map? The blacksmith is on the left-hand side of the map, but I find it easier and faster and sort of beneficial to go up the right-hand side. So right off this Site of Grace, just jump down the cliff and I go up the right-hand side. Find it's a straighter line. So yeah, it's a pretty boring ride, I have to say. It takes about 25 minutes if you just focus on just going in a straight line. Don't get distracted doing anything else. On the way through here, I do take a sort of a side quest instead of running in the perfect straight line to do two things. One of them is to visit the Crabber's Shack on the way through, and that's in case you want to do the Dung Eater's quest line. He's a part of it, and once you go to the Altus Plateau, I believe he disappears and reappears in the Altus Plateau, and you lose the opportunity to get one of the curses from him. So I just, as part of this video, I start it. All I do is initialize the quest. So usually you can cut that piece of running out. I find that running this route right here and getting the gate to the castle, even though you're not going to go through it yet, this has all been a straight line by running up the right hand side, cutting across, and you get the gate Site of Grace there. You get a golden seed. You get the map. So that's why I run up the right hand side instead of running up the left, and then I'm just cutting across here to the left and like ran into a lobster, which results in a lot of panic running. So this is me. I think I'm going to edit it out. I do find the crabber's shack here, and then her, and then shack, and then keep going. So now just running north to go to the dragon. Pick up the dragon key, and then keep cutting across west to get to the blacksmith, which is really the big goal of being here. It might seem like we've gone out of the way a lot doing this run, but to be honest, just running straight to the blacksmith takes almost the same time as what we just did there. It wasn't that big of a diversion. So here's the dragon, you get the dragon, then you run up on shore, get another set of grace, and then there is an upgrade to your summon in a dungeon to the left of where I'm running right now. I'm going to go to the right first and go to the blacksmith, and then I'll call back to that one and go south. Pick up the jellyfish shield on the way through, and then just run straight to the blacksmith. It's pretty much just a straight shot. So I could edit all this out, but whatever. At the end of this build, what I'm hoping to have is Eleanor's Poleblade be about level 23, have the Poleblade upgraded to +6, have Reduvia upgraded to +5, or +4, sorry, and have the dragon, I forget what it's called, the dragon snake, the snake, whatever, ancient snake bow. It's the arcane scaling bow, and have that leveled up to +2, and also have the dragon seal upgraded to +4, and be about level, I think 23, 26, maybe 28 actually. It'll be under 30, and in level 28 I think is normally when you go and fight Margit the first time. So it's just allowing you to be very well decked out, like you're ready for the game at that point. You've got your end game weapon, you've got your, here I am just running into the dungeon to pick up those glove words. So that was 2 and 3. So now I've got 1, 2, 3 summon upgrades, and I'll get 4 and 5 as well. You can get it in Caelid. And then I'll start the game with level 5 summon, Eleanor's Poleblade upgraded, and unfortunately Reduvia won't really be used anymore. It's great, but daggers unfortunately just suck in this game. So it's good for short range attack with a dagger, but unfortunately, if you're going to have to get in there and mix it up, it's no matter how hard it hits or how fast it procs bleed, it's just too risky being that close to the mob all the time. You end up getting killed. So this is me just going in. This is where the archer summons are. They're my favorite, and I'll just pick this thing up and then call back. Just like, meow. So those were the marionette archer summons. They're really good for this build. You're a melee build, and sometimes you just need the mob to get off you. And the archers keep their distance and stay at the back wall typically, so you can run out and challenge the mob in the middle of the room. They'll stay at the edge firing at the mob, and the mob will keep bouncing back and forth between trying to kill you and then peeling off you while they're shooting at them, and you get some good back attacks. And because it's an arcane build, proccing bleed on the bosses, it provides opportunities for you to use a bunch of attacks that normally you wouldn't be able to use if it was just you on the boss. And the other thing is I'm not using Rivers of Blood or any of the katanas in this build. This build is really meant, I mean, stat-wise, you can do whatever you want with it. It's an arcane build. But stat-wise, it's going to be going for using Eleanor's Poleblade for most mobs, and then switching to Bloody Helix, the heavy thrusting sword, for bosses. And that would be on the first playthrough, and then the second playthrough maybe dual wielding the Bloody Helices with possibly using Great Stars, which is a lot of fun as well. So this is me going down to the Third Church of America just to get this waypoint. There's also a teleporter down here that's going to take us out to a farming area to help us push our levels faster to be able to use Eleanor's Poleblade without running around or doing any of the content without it really, and that's part of the goal for this. So. Got the level high enough, got at least 13 in Arcane and 13 in Dexterity, and go challenge this guy. To get your cooperator to spawn, you have to hit him, or he has to hit you. And at the level that we're at right now, if he hits us twice, we die. So, be careful, whatever. Stay back. I have two swords right here. It makes it easier. The attack sequence that you get off two swords when you get the opportunity with that guy, you can really lay into him. So here we go. You've got Reduvia. Might as well go do patches. You need, like I said, 13 arcane, 13 dexterity to qualify to use the dagger. But once you do this, it trivializes some of the early fights for you. So the fight here with patches, you can see he's got a tell. Every time he does it, I just shoot him, and he'll die. Without the dagger at level 1, yeah, that's a hard fight. So you can do patches. Really, I'm just after the parrying dagger that he has because I want to use two daggers off the start instead of that dagger with the sword. The flurry off the daggers is more powerful than a sword thrust at the beginning of the game. So, and we're also going to need to go farm some of the vulgar militia. And having a dual dagger flurry with those guys puts them away and doesn't give them a chance to attack because they'll one-shot us. So having two daggers is why I bother with patches and pick up the other dagger. Come over here, I need an Ash of War to put on this dagger because it's a parrying dagger, and by default it'll use the parry skill instead of Reduvia if you have it dual wielded, so you need to put some kind of Ash of War on it to uh, make it so it doesn't take priority over Reduvia. And that's it